I think the neat thing about this is you're designing in exactly the way that you're saying to design, and that's really cool. The color palette, I think, is striking. I love it. Um, there's two areas that I think they're kind of losing a little bit of contrast in that they're, and no surprise, they're both areas that have the white background. I think a subtle color in this, and then a really, really subtle color here, because there's some data here. You don't want to obstruct that with the use of color. So, um, good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so yeah, so those are the two areas I think that are kind of anomalies, in that they stand out too much as something being different, in that they're the only areas that have the white background. Let's start from the top. Okay, how to design for a Gen Z. Let's learn more about them. Can we maybe just take something over here and just like a little thing right to start? So, how to design for Gen Z. To start, let's learn about let's learn more about them. But let's use a different typeface and kind of place it right over there, just like, okay, to start, let's learn more about them. And then down here, you can say, to design, then, to design, and then let's look at the facts or something, or to design. So you have to start, let's talk about more about them, and then to design for them, let's look at the stats or something like that. I don't know. That's just kind of creating a kind of a continuation. Okay, here's an introduction to this area, and then here's an introduction to this area. Okay, over here, how to design for Gen Z. I think that you should really, really try to develop a really interesting, compelling typographic composition for how to design for Gen Z. And I'm going to put Craig on the spot again, and I'm going to use his as an example, because his banner area is really super inviting. The typographic treatment here, this little typographic composition here is really, really interesting. You have to admit it draws you right into the piece. Kind of have no choice but not to be attracted into the piece with that typographic composition. And I think the same thing. Try to do something really super interesting for the banner area. Love the colors. Okay. To start, let's learn more about them. They make up 30% of the world. Excellent. Got a little bit of hiccups here over here in the pen tool. We got some areas that could be smoothed out right there. That's not the outside circle, the white circle, but that's not circular right there. It looks like almost a corner point right there and there. So let's get that squared away. They've grown up in a digital world. Okay, first of all, let's define Gen Zs. Okay, so what is it? Mid 90s to early 2000s. So roughly 94 to 2004 or so, 2005. So let's go ahead and define what Gen Zs are somewhere. Then you can start saying they make up 30% of the world. Okay, then you can say they've grown up in a digital world. Gen Z's attention span, 8 seconds. That's less than a goldfish bowl. I love that. I think this should be a little bigger. I think you should really try to do something with the goldfish bowl in the 8 seconds and make that really super interesting. Then percentage of teen social media consumption. I love the bowl. I think that could be done a little bit more. I mean, right now it's not specifically clear that that's a bowl. I put it together through context saying consumption. So I'm seeing this as like a cereal bowl with a spoon sticking out of it. Let's go ahead and refine that. You've got YouTube, Instagram, and Snapchat. What about Facebook and Twitter? I think that those are. I don't know. Is Facebook still being used by younger kids? Not sure. Let's find out and see if we can't include a couple more social media outlets for kids. I mean, Vine. I think Vine is out now, but things like that. That's just, that maybe even some of the lesser media outlets. Quick overview of technology during Gen Z. So right now you're up to 2010, right? But I think this should be defined again up here by defining the Gen Zs. When were they born and how old are they? Okay, so this would make a little bit more sense in that. Okay, so we're going to start at 95. Now you've gone up to 210, which that's great. But right now you've got a lot of real estate over here, and you've got a lot of stuff cluttered right in through 2005, 2010, or 2003, 2012. Let's go ahead and just stop at 2011 or so and stretch this out and span these a little bit wider so they're not so cluttered right through here. Seems like you could add some more technology introduction of new technology in these areas too. Really think about it. Really think about what you can do here, and let's get those in there. It seems to me, and I'm going to do a system zoom. You won't see this, But okay, yeah, there it seems to be an anomaly here. This little icon right here, I think has a drop shadow on it, but none of the others do. I don't recommend it, but I think I'm seeing one right there. Okay, then we have they spend 3 hours, 3+ hours daily on video messaging and social media. This is great. This is a really really good graphic. One thing I would do is I would change the color of this. Is really similar to this. So we'll add a little bit of contrast there. So that interior orange, a little bit away from that yellow right there. Probably could get a little bit darker on the pink background too. And then this graphic of all the people here, it's great. It's a silhouette. It's really, really, really effective. But I want to make two suggestions. It's really random. I mean, I don't think it's executed with a whole lot of care. And I don't mean to sound discouraging at all. I'm just telling you how I see it. I think this could definitely be refined. These could be refined. Now, remember, these to me, and it's kind of an abstract statement, kind of an abstract graphic, but to me, these look more like adults than kids. Now, Gen Zs, I think the oldest Gen Zs are in their early 20s right now. So, um, yeah, that would be right. So I don't know. See what you can do with this silhouette. It's a great idea, but I'm just not sure about the execution at this point. Now, at the bottom of the poster, this is where we get into tips. All right, this is what it's all about: how to design for Gen Zs. You've got 95% of the infographic is defining and giving characteristics for Gen Zs, and 5% is giving design tips for Gen Zs. So therefore, the how to design for a Gen Z, I think that's a little misleading. So I think we should spend a little bit more time here on how to design for Gen Z. Think about it. Think about video. Think about the programs they watch on TV. Think about the music they listen to. Think about all sorts of different things, and really try to pack this with as much information as you can. Typography, color, layout, composition choices, page mechanics. We've got a weird kind of convergence of these dots right here. I just noticed that right here. You want to fix that definitely. But yeah, see if you can get more facts and figures in here, and just continue along this wonderful vein of these wonderful icons that you're designing. Okay. All right. Other than that, I love it. I think it's fantastic. It's got such a unique look, and it's very, very successful. So I'm not real sure where I left off, Kristi, but yeah, you probably heard my dogs barking, and they were going crazy, so I had to take a little break and settle them down. So I'm not real sure where I left off, but I believe I was completed with the critique. And so go ahead and let me know if you have any questions at all, if I can provide any clarification. But once again, this is just a wonderful, wonderful start. Really a big fan here. So again, just let me know if you have any questions. Great job. Thanks, Kristi.